Guys, holidays are coming up. I got a great last-minute gift item idea for you. I have been rocking the Brio Beardscape for 3 years now, and I am proud to announce that I just completed my third ever charge. That's right, it comes with a charger, but I lose it about every 8 months because it's so long in between when I have to charge this thing. A full charge is 180 minutes of shaving. Do you know how long 180 minutes of shaving is? It's a really long time, even if you do a full head and beard shave every single week like I do. They've got the new Brio Zero tool, which I didn't even know that this thing had interchangeable heads, but it does. The Zero head helps you get an even closer shave for your edges, for those tight trims, for your mustaches. I wouldn't recommend it for your balls. It's very, very sharp. Use the regular blade for your balls. The Brio Beardscape and all its accessories come in a handy travel case that's very light, so I pack it every time I travel. It gets tossed around an airport. It's still good to go, and the battery will last you potentially years of traveling. Hit the link in the description to get the best price around on the Brio Beardscape before Christmas for any man in your life, including yourself. Well, hello! Welcome to the next part of Preuninger's favorite GT cars. If you're just joining us, I'm at the Porsche Experience Center today, where I'm driving 5 of Andreas Preuninger, the father of the Porsche GT program, 5 of his favorite GT cars ever. This one is a very special car, very rare. You don't see them on the street very often, and it's something that is very near and dear to my heart. This is the 997.2 GT2 RS, and it is a warhammer, man. The GT2 RS has a 3.6 liter twin turbo, 612 horsepower flat six, with 516 pound-feet of torque. It weighs as close as makes no difference, 3,000 pounds even. This was the first of the Porsche's road cars to use variable geometry turbos, which widens your torque band. And this was also the first of Porsche's road cars that could actually build boost in neutral for a launch. It could build boost without there being a load on the engine, which is something that basically all Porsche 911s do now. This thing will run a high 10 second quarter mile shifting manual gearbox, and they made 500 total units. The only one of these I've ever driven was modified by Sharkworks. I've actually never driven the stock one. So we are going to do a few laps. Sean Hayes, my instructor in front, good man and a good teacher. He's in the new GT3 RS. Oh, let me adjust my seat a little bit here. And he's going to be going. We're going to be at pace. I'm not saying that we're going to drive this car as fast as the car will go, but we are certainly going to drive it as fast as my brain will allow us to. We're going to put our shocks into sport. Stability control is off, but I'm leaving traction control on. So, rear drive, manual gearbox, rear engine, and at the time, the fastest thing Porsche had ever made. Having come out of the 997 GT3 RS 4.0, I had certain expectations that turned out to be way off. Although this thing shares certain things with that GT3 RS 4.0, other things are way different. For instance, even though it has way more horsepower, it's a lot less manic. If you're used to the more modern squeeze on, squeeze off turbocharged power band, this will be very familiar. It's not like every 1% of throttle makes a difference like it does in the GT3 RS. Whoa! As you squeeze second to climb that hill, that's when those variable geometry turbos really make themselves known. Same beautiful shifter as the GT3 RS, same PCCBs as the GT3 RS, same wheels, same Sport Cup 2 tires. difference is, believe it or not, oh, it tucks the nose very nice. Believe it or not, this is easier to drive. A lot of that has to do with the fact that this doesn't have that insane light flywheel. This has certainly an RS spec flywheel, but it helps you manage the blips and the rev matches on the way down. And with this flywheel, it actually feels directly in tune to how my foot blips the throttle, as opposed to the 4.0 where I really had to relearn the technique and was just figuring it out by the time it was time to get out of the car. Steering, excellent, same as every other GT car, and especially the 997 RS's. This car was positioned both by Porsche and by the media as this scary, out of control, kind of crazy, you better watch yourself sort of experience, when in fact I do not find that to be the case. I find that if you are comfortable squeezing the throttle and with maintenance throttle and not going flat before your track out cone and rolling into it, I actually find this car to be very forgiving, very fun, very lively, and very fast. Get down. That's really not the line there. Could have used a little more brakes. The power curve from 3.5 all the way up to 7 is really totally flat. Just enormous power. And just a really, really wide 4,500 RPM worth of usable power band. A bunch. Just a bunch. Riding that inside a little bit. Second gear on full throttle is really a big thrust. You know, with the turbo, they kind of lengthen the gears a little bit, so even though the red line is lower than the GT3, you're covering the same kind of ground and you're using the same gears at the same point in the racetrack. I'm not up a gear higher here because my red line is lower. What a fabulous machine this is. It's tight as a drum. Love how it feels. I love the way it dances. I love the size of it. You've heard me say this, but as far as modern Porsches go, 997 is the right size. The rev matching ratios are perfect for how I drive. I think the move is to upshift to third there, throw that kink away, and then be in the right gear here. Yep, I should not have been taking that in second. I should have been using third there. Okay, we know for the future. In the GT3's, second is prudent there, but because I've got this boost to work with, why did I go to third? That was dumb. That I just like autopiloted myself to third. That was stupid. I'd love to have this on a Road America or really a track where you could make use of 600 horsepower. Not that I'm not having a very good time, I am, but second and third only gets you so far in a car like this. You want to be putting up big numbers. Oh wow, that was fabulous. Really finding with light modulation that I can, you gotta figure out, how do I modulate the throttle between 0 and 3%? And if you can get that tiny little bit of modulation, then you're gonna be able to play right at the edge of the boost. And if you can play at the edge of the boost, then you can make it really work for you. Yeah, throw this one away, upshift, turn in, and now squeeze on third and not have to do a gear change here. That is the line. We're learning. Best shifter in the business, Same as the GT3. Really comfortable bucket seats. Man, thing just devours tarmac, doesn't it? Well, I get why Preuninger likes this. This thing rules. I mean, how do you not love this? All the hallmarks are there, right? Rear drive, manual gearbox, big power, and I believe that at 3.6, I believe this is Metzger-based big power, which would make this the last Metzger engine, I think. I can't remember everything. I'm trying. But the power, the weight, the agility, the brakes, the finesse, the precision, all there. It's very, very rare that you come upon sports cars that really have all of those things together. And then also, by the way, you could really take this to like the shops. There's no reason, especially if I take it out of sport shock and go back into regular, that I couldn't just use it as a car if I wanted to. It's not so crazy that you couldn't just drive it around as a car, and people do. But you understand why Preuninger likes it. You understand why they sold out so fast. You understand why it's so collectible. And well, the one thing I don't understand is why it has such a widowmaker reputation, because in truth of fact, it's quite forgiving and fantastic to drive. So shout out to Porsche, letting me have a go this spectacular machine from their museum. Shout out to you guys for watching. We got some more videos to make with some more GT cars. Let's move forward in time, shall we, to the 991 generation. See you in the next video.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Go to offtherecord.com/TST or use code TST10 on the Off the Record app.